दृष्टुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नृसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युं नमाम्यहम्. Dear students, I welcome all of you to this classes in organic chemistry. We are reading with the carboxylic acid. We have done the what are carboxylic acids and different types of carboxylic acids, the nomenclature and isomerism in carboxylic acid. The COH group is the carboxylic acid group, is the functional group. It is not an union of carbonyl group or hydroxyl group as it appears, but due to their mutual interaction they lose their identity. It acts as a single functional group that we have analyzed. When you take the carbon oxygen double bond in carbonyl compound, it is 1.2 angstrom unit, whereas in case of carboxylic acid it is 1.23 angstrom unit. When you go to alcohol, the COH bond length is 1.43 angstrom unit, whereas in carboxylic acid it is 1.36 angstrom unit. So this spectroscopic analysis confirms that the CO group or OH is not the carbonyl group, the OH group is not the hydroxyl group. Due to mutual interaction, it acts as single group because thus it does not give the reactions of nucleophilic addition reactions of carbonyl compounds. Also the OH group is not neutral, it is acidic. Now we will come to the how to discuss the preparation of the general methods of preparation of carboxylic acid. We will come to general methods of preparation of carboxylic acid. So when you come to the formic acid and acetic acid, the formic acid cannot be prepared by general methods because the general formula of carboxylic acid is RCOH. When R is CH3, it is called acetic acid, and it is formic acid is HCOH, formic acid. So the formic acid cannot be prepared by the general methods of preparation of carboxylic acid. We will discuss the preparation of formic acid separately, how the formic acid can be prepared. Same thing happened in case of formaldehyde. We have taken the acetaldehyde. The general methods by which acetaldehyde is prepared, by the same methods formaldehyde is not prepared, because the first member is a typical member in organic compounds. So this type of phenomenon it occurs. Now to come to general methods, so we take how to remember this? So we take HOZ, OHG, let's take Orisha Home Guard. So if you go by this, you will never forget the methods for preparation of carboxylic. Generally what happens in the exam hall, we try to remember one thing, but if you have this mnemonics OHG, Orisha Home Guard, it will remain in your mind. So O stands for oxidation, H stands for hydrolysis, G stands for Grignard reaction. These are the standard the code in what we have done right from the alkane to alcohol to aldehyde ketone we have taken. You are using these letters for these words. So first is O is oxidation of alcohol, primary alcohol and aldehyde. O. Then comes oxidation of methyl ketone, oxidation of methyl ketone. Because always the methyl group on oxidation forms COH group. Hence we take this methyl ketone. Then H, hydrolysis of ester, then hydrolysis of alkyl cyanides or nitrile. Alkyl cyanides are called as alkane nitrile. So nitrile, hydrolysis of alkyl cyanide, and G is Grignard reagent synthesis. We can take the Grignard reagent and have its synthetic application. We have discussed this while discussing the alcohol and aldehyde ketone. So I have been telling you, in organic chemistry, when you are going forward, most of the things, the preparations and properties, here all these preparations, they are the properties of, this is a property of alcohol, property of aldehyde, this is a property of ketone, this is a property of acid derivative ester. We have done in the preparation of esterification reaction, and alkyl cyanide and Grignard reagent synthesis. These are the two things will look new. So the wrong notion that has been inducted by our generations that organic chemistry one has to remember, I want to refute it, that the only thing that one should not remember is organic chemistry. Just you forget, but try to understand, apply your common sense, recapitulate what you have read till today, then you can very easily go for this. Now let's start with first oxidation of alcohol. The primary alcohols on oxidation forms its aldehyde which on further oxidation produces the carboxylic acid. With same number of carbon atoms. So whatever carboxylic acid we want to prepare, we will take its alcohol. So suppose these are primary alcohol is RCHHOH. This is primary alcohol. Now if we oxidize this by mild oxidizing agent, say dilute alkaline KMnO4 we can take. So what will happen? This will undergo oxidation. This H will become OH. These hydrogen atoms are reactive hydrogen atoms. So one of the hydrogen atom will be oxidized. So we get the dihydroxy compound. The dihydric compound is unstable. This is unstable. So it loses a molecule of water. It loses a molecule of water to form its aldehyde. So this aldehyde now further gets oxidized by the same mild oxidizing agent, because primary alcohol has two active hydrogen atoms. So this is a lone hydrogen atom, is an oxidizable hydrogen atom, can easily be oxidized by the same mild oxidizing acid. So this aldehyde RCOH again undergoes oxidation by alkaline KMnO4, or we can take also acidified KMnO4. So this H gets oxidized, H becomes OH, we get RCOH. We got the carboxylic acid. So we can start from aldehyde and land upon the carboxylic acid also. That's the reason I wrote oxidation of primary alcohol and oxidation of aldehyde. We can start with aldehyde or you can start with alcohol. Suppose you want to prepare acetic acid. If we want to prepare acetic acid, then what is R? R is CH3. In acetic acid, R is CH3. Then what the alcohol will start? We'll start with ethyl alcohol. We take ethyl alcohol, CH3, C, H, H, OH. This is ethyl alcohol. This on oxidation with alkaline KMnO4, the H becomes OH, we get CH3, C, OH, H, OH, and this loses a molecule of water being unstable. This forms acetaldehyde. Now this acetaldehyde again gets oxidized by the same alkaline KMnO4. Oxidation, this H becomes OH, we get acetic acid. So we started with 2 carbon atoms and added with 2 carbon atoms, so we got acetic acid. So primary alcohol on oxidation produces its aldehyde. The aldehyde further gets oxidized to form carboxylic acid. Suppose you want to prepare formic acid. By this method we can prepare formic acid, but we cannot use potassium permanganate. If we use potassium permanganate, then what will happen? Then that will form carbon dioxide and water. So we have to take a specific oxidizing it. So what is that? If we take methyl alcohol, and this undergoes oxidation in presence of platinum black. And it is heated, then this forms the formic acid. That forms formaldehyde, and the formaldehyde gets oxidized to form formic acid, and you get here formic acid. So this H becomes OH, again it goes a molecule of water, then H becomes OH, so we get the product. So this is the way we get here. Water molecule is lost. Here water molecule is lost, so 3O, so here 1O, so we get 2O, we get this molecule acid. So this is formic acid. So methyl alcohol, not by potassium permanganate, but by platinum black. If it is heated, this undergoes oxidation to produce the formic acid. So this is what is oxidation of alcohol, primary alcohol, to produce aldehyde. The aldehyde further goes oxidation to form its carboxylic acid. Now second is oxidation of methyl ketone. This we have discussed while discussing the oxidation properties of alcohol, methyl ketone. So here we can use an oxidizing agent to get it, but we know that ketones on heating, very strong oxidizing agent, one of the methyl group gets oxidized to produce the carboxylic acid with one carbon atom less. But there is another method. We have done the haloform reaction. That is a better method of getting carboxylic acid, because there will not be a chance of losing anything, and the way byproduct produced is also useful. Here a part of the thing will go as carbon dioxide, but there everything will remain. We can get the byproduct, so our method of preparation will be economic and useful. So this is done by methyl ketone by the haloform reaction. So this is done, the oxidation of this is done by haloform reaction. How? If you take, say, let's take the example of acetone, CH3, CO, CH3, acetone. If you treat this with chlorine in presence of sodium hydroxide, a alkali, then 3 hydrogen atoms of the ketone will be substituted by 3 halogen atoms, 3 chlorine atoms, forming chloral, trichloroacetaldehyde chloral. So 3 chlorine molecules will react. We get Cl3, CO, CH3 and HCl. So this is called chloral. Now this chloral will react with the alkali we have taken in the medium. Now Cl3, CO, CH3, sorry, this is not chloral, this is trichloroacetone. This is the wrong thing I have written, trichloroacetone. This is trichloroacetone. Now this trichloroacetone will react with sodium hydroxide. So this will go as a CH3, COONA, CH3, CONA plus chloroform. So we got this chloroform and this sodium acetate, and this chloroform has a low boiling point, so we can remove it by fractional distillation. And in the medium, because it is a salt, sodium acetate is a salt, will remain in the solution, so chloroform can be taken out, and this byproduct this is the byproduct will be useful to us. So there will not be any loss. That carbon atom which is lost from the ketone is not lost, it's converted to chloroform. Now we'll take the sodium acetate, CH3, COONA. We take sodium acetate, treat with HCl, a mineral acid. So this forms sodium and chlorine, they go as a sodium chloride, we get acetic acid, we get acetic acid plus sodium chloride. So this is the way, by the haloform reaction is a better method for oxidizing the methyl ketone to produce the carboxylic acid. We can do it by treating with oxidizing agent potassium dichromate and concerned sulfuric acid. CH3 group can be oxidized, but what is the loss? The loss of carbon atom will take place. So that will not be economical one, but this way if we do it, we get the chloroform as the byproduct, and chloroform is the most useful compound in organic chemistry. So you get acetic acid, simultaneously you get chloroform. So this is oxidation of methyl ketone. Now next method, we have taken Odisha home guard. So O gone. Now we'll come to H, hydrolysis of ester. hydrolysis of ester. So both ester can be hydrolyzed by using an acid, mineral acid, also by using an alkali. So when we use a mineral acid, we call this as acid hydrolysis. When we use the alkali, we call it alkaline hydrolysis. But then we get the salt. Again we will convert that to the carboxylic acid by acidification. So generally in the hydrolysis of ester, one prefers to go for acid hydrolysis because directly we get the acid. So when an ester is refluxed with mineral acid, so this mineral acid generally we use sulfuric acid, undergoes a reversible reaction to produce the carboxylic acid and alcohol. The carboxylic acid and alcohol. The carboxylic acids have relatively higher boiling point. Carboxylic acid has relatively higher boiling point. So on fractional distillation, they can be separated, they can be isolated. We can isolate this by fractional distillation. That means in this also the two products, one product we get the carboxylic acid, other product we get the alcohol. Alcohol is useful, so we collect the alcohol, has a lower boiling point than carboxylic acid. So if you do the fractional distillation, the alcohol will be distilled out first and carboxylic acid will remain. So the alcohol can be reused, nothing can be lost. So in any method of that method is a approved method if nothing is lost from the reaction. So let's take say CS3 COOC2H5. This is ethyl acetate. If you treat this with sulfuric acid, concerned sulfuric acid, and it is refluxed, so it undergoes hydrolysis. This supplies a molecule of water. So this breaks here. This breaks at this point. So we get the OH this side and as this side. So we get CS3 COOH, the carboxylic acid, and the ethyl alcohol C2H5OH. Ethyl alcohol and acetic acid. So if you take the boiling point, the boiling point of acetic acid is 121 degrees centigrade, whereas the boiling point of ethyl alcohol is 78 degree centigrade. There is a wide difference. They are almost say 30 degree difference they have. So very easy to separate them. So if you want to have the forward reaction to take place, so we have to increase the concentration of ethyl ester. We will go on adding the ester to the reflux. We take a round bottom flask, then we take the ester in that. Then by the Thistle funnel we add the concerned sulfuric acid and we heat, and by water bath and if you are heating it, then it will continuously reaction will going on, and to continue the process we will go on adding the ester to the flux, so that we will get the preparation of the acetic acid and alcohol. They can be, so we can, by the fractional distillation, they can be separated. It's a very useful method of this we have done while studying the preparation of alcohol. While preparation of alcohol, we have done this reaction, and also we have done in the reverse reaction the property of alcohol we have done. And this student in his 11th class, he reads law of mass section, reversible reaction, homogeneous liquid system. He reads, and in second year when the student reads chemical kinetics, so this is a pseudo unimolecular reaction. The acid hydrolysis of ester is a pseudo unimolecular reaction, means it has it is a bimolecular first order reaction. So this hydrolysis of ester by the acid is a example for our first order bimolecular reaction. It is called a pseudo unimolecular reaction. You see one thing when we read, if we correlate where we have done this, where we have read it, then automatically all the chapters we recapitulate and we revise. So students should not mug up, should not remember and go to exam. Better after reading the way I do, OHG I have taken, Varisha home guard, then O I have done H. If you go by this way, you will not be feeling tired and you will not be feeling that there is a fear for forgetting. So there is no, the more you forget, the more you remember. More you forget, more you remember. So that is my conviction, because we have taken birth not to live but to die. We have taken birth to live, not to live. We live but to live to die. Sun rises to set, not to remain in the sky permanently. Sunrise, then set in the evening. So how do you feel that you will remember? If you remember, you will not forget. So the moment you start remembering, forgetting is definite. But the moment you understand, there is no misunderstanding. There is no misunderstanding. After misunderstanding, understanding comes. But after understanding, no misunderstanding comes. The world is in peace only because of mutual understanding. The family is a family is because of mutual understanding. So everything goes by mutual understanding. So try to understand, then remembering this. Then we have done this. Then fourth method, we come as a hydrolysis of alkyl cyanide or nitriles. They are called as nitriles. So this alkyl cyanide is RC triple bond, and here the one bond is a single bond and this sigma bond. These two are pi bonds. This is a pi bond, this is a pi bond, this is a sigma bond. And cyanogen group is a very useful group in organic chemistry. That is called cyanogen synthesis. In this one chapter only, when I will be teaching you the derivatives of carboxylic acid, I will teach you then the cyanogen synthesis, so alkyl cyanide. This is hydrolysis. So this is done, the hydrolysis of alkyl cyanide can be done by acid, so also by the alkali. So if you hydrolyze this alkyl cyanide, and this is called alkyl cyanide, if you take R, C, triple bond N and add acid, we take say dilute hydrochloric acid and heat. So this will supply a water. So the pi bond will break, this pi bond will break, this will form, it undergoes 2 molecules of water will be added and you get the amide. So R, C, OH, double bond NH we will get, and this isomerizes to produce the amide RCONH2 amide. We get the amide of this. So this amide RCONH2 is again hydrolyzed. So this amide is a salt type of compound. It is soluble in water. So this gets dissolved in water to produce RCONH4, ammonium salt of the acid. Ammonium salt of acid. Now we want to remove this NH4 plus this minus ammonium salt. Now this ammonium salt RCONH4, when we treat this with HCl, we get RCOH, the carboxylic acid, and NH4Cl. So NH4Cl is a salt, ammonium chloride, we get the carboxylic acid here. We get the carboxylic acid here. So very easy. So children, this is alkyl cyanide on hydrolysis with an acid. It produces a molecule of water is added to form a unstable compound. Then this isomerizes to produce the amide. Or if you understand how it happens, now if I can explain you. This is alkyl cyanide, RC triple bond N. We are adding water. So this two molecules of water will be added, RCOH, OH, then NH2, and this loses a molecule of water to produce RCONH2. If you want to understand, so you can keep this as your keynote, because two pi bonds are there, two water molecules can be added. This forms this. Suppose you want to prepare acetic acid. So what is our starting material? This R should be CS3. So CS3 C triple bond N. This is called methyl cyanide. So this methyl cyanide on treatment with dilute HCl, this produces acetamide CS3 COH double bond NH, and this isomerizes to produce acetamide. This forms acetamide CS3 CONH2. We get the acetamide. Now this acetamide now hydrolyzed. It is treated with water, same acid. So this produces ammonium acetate. We get ammonium acetate, the salt, intermediate product. Ammonium acetate. This ammonium acetate is a salt. This upon hydrolysis, by acidification, we Cl treats. So this NH4 and Cl, they go as NH4Cl. We get the acetic acid and NH4Cl. We get the acetic acid. Now suppose you take sodium hydroxide. If you take sodium hydroxide, we will end up on the amide. If you by the alkali hydrolysis of, as I told you, by the alkali hydrolysis of each amide, alkyl cyanide. If you take, the same thing happen. If you take, say, CH3C methyl cyanide, we treat this with sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide, this upon undergoes hydrolysis to form CH3CO NH2. We get, now this amide we got, NH2 amide we got, will again go in the same similar way with water to form the ammonium salt, CH3COONH4, ammonium salt. Now this ammonium salt, CH3CONH4, we treat this with, say, sodium hydroxide. So this forms the sodium hydroxide. We get here are CH3COOH. This goes as it forms this salt CH3CONA, and this sodium CH3CONA, this upon HCl will give us the acetic acid plus NaCl. So we can get it, but if acid is available, we need not go for this alkali hydrolysis, because again we get the same thing. So this we have done the hydrolysis and oxidation. Next class we will be discussing about how carboxylic acid can be prepared from Grignard reagent and how formic acid can be prepared from by different methods. So if you have not subscribed our channel, please press the bell icon, then you subscribe the channel, then like it, and have your questions. Whatever you want to have questions, you can put the questions. I will be answering you in the comment box. Thank you very much to be with us in this class.